first met Dave Berke in Ramadi in April of 2006, right after I arrived into this total violent war zone. I deployed to Iraq before, but this was a very different environment.
I was there for about a month doing combat operations when a SEAL team showed up and they called themselves Task Unit Bruiser.
Unlike in my previous deployments, U.S. troops were getting wounded or killed every single day in Ramadi. This was the real deal. It was a total war zone. One of the top priorities for U.S. military force in Iraq was to try to take the city of Ramadi back from 3,000 to 5,000 insurgents that controlled the city of 400,000 people. And 2/3 of the geographic area of the city was Al-Qaeda and Iraq battle space. U.S. forces couldn't even penetrate into these areas without taking major casualties.
Americans were getting wounded, Americans were getting killed, and progress was not being made. What does that mean? It means we were losing.
We wanted to try to help and support the soldiers and Marines that were on the ground there. I very quickly learned that one unit that was doing that exceptionally well was Dave Berke and his Marines. Dave was one of those calming presence. He'd only been on the ground for a month prior to me, and yet he'd done several dozen combat operations. He might as well have been there for years compared to my 0 combat operations in Ramadi at this point.
I volunteered after Top Gun to be a forward air controller to this unit called Anglico in Japan. What I thought that meant I was going to be doing is living in Japan for a year, being a forward air controller, which I thought was good because it was a really unique Marine Corps thing. The minute I got to Japan, they were asking for volunteers to leave the Japan Anglica unit and go to one in Camp Lejeune. And within a matter of months of me starting this Japan deployment, I was actually back in the United States prepping to go to Iraq.
I remember the day he left like it was yesterday. It was horrible, sad. I was terrified, again, because I obviously had no idea what was going to happen and I never experienced that before.
I left for my FAC tour 3 months after I'd gotten married. I spent 19 of the first 27 months of my marriage deployed.
Dave is what we call a JTAC, which is a Joint Terminal Attack Controller. That's a forward air controller, somebody that's talking to aircraft. I had no idea what the background was that got him to Ramadi, where I met Dave and we started working together. I had no idea that he was one of the absolute best pilots in the world. He could have chosen any command that he wanted to go to. He could have led any fighter squadron, and yet he volunteered for a ground forward air control duty. And of all the places in Iraq that he could have been sent to, he chose Ramadi.
Our team was called SALT 6, Supporting Arms Liaison Team. Also, we were referred as Lightning 6-1. We were a 13-man team of Marines and a Navy corpsman. Our job was to embed with Army, Navy, and Marines units to provide air support.
What Dave and his team were doing was providing cover from the high ground from tens of thousands of feet overhead from fixed-wing aircraft like F-18s or Marine Harriers or even rotary-wing aircraft like Apache gunships. When we patrolled in these incredibly dangerous areas where thousands of hardcore jihadi fighters controlled these neighborhoods, we could do that knowing that Dave could talk to those aircraft and bring their big guns into bear to bail us out when we got in trouble. And they did that all the time.
It's something that's very unique that the Marine Corps does, which is take pilots from the air and put them on the ground. And they've done this for a long time. All of a sudden, you've got someone that speaks the language of the people that are in the sky. We get taught that language, we're not fluent in that language. When you've got someone like Dave Berke, that is their first language. They explain things to the aircraft overhead that we wouldn't be able to explain as well. It's very beneficial at a minimum, and in a worst case scenario, it can save lives.